Ever wondered why your Spanish sentences don't sound quite right? You're not alone. Even the most dedicated Spanish learners can stumble over the language's intricate grammar rules. But don't worry, we're here to help you navigate this linguistic labyrinth. In today's session, we're going to focus on common Spanish grammar mistakes and how to sidestep them. Spanish, like any language, has its quirks, and understanding these can make a real difference in your communication. We're going to look at everything from the placement of adjectives and the correct use of ser and estar, to the confusion between por and para, the misuse of pronouns, and even the correct use of prepositions. Each of these elements plays a significant role in delivering the right message. So grab your notebook, pen, and your keen mind, because we're about to dive deep into the fascinating world of Spanish grammar. Stay with us as we dive into these mistakes and their solutions. Let's start with our first common mistake: misplacing adjectives. In English, we're used to placing adjectives before the noun. Red apple or quick rabbit, right? But in Spanish, the game changes. The adjective usually comes after the noun. Saying la roja casa is like saying the house red. It just doesn't quite sound right, does it? The correct way to say it is la casa roja. So, in Spanish, we flip it around to apple red or manzana roja and rabbit quick or conejo rapido. This might feel a bit backward at first, but with practice, it will start to feel more natural. Remember, adjectives in Spanish usually come after the noun. So next time you're describing something in Spanish, make sure to check where your adjectives are placed. It's a small change that can make a big difference in your Spanish communication. Moving on to the second common mistake, the confusion between ser and estar. Both translate to be in English, but they're used in different contexts in Spanish. A common error is using ser when you should use estar and vice versa. For instance, saying soy en casa instead of estoy en casa for I am at home. The solution? Remember this simple rule. Ser is used to talk about permanent or inherent qualities such as soy profesor, I am a teacher. On the other hand, estar is used for temporary states and locations like estoy cansado, I am tired. So when you're trying to express a location or a temporary state, use estar. For inherent characteristics, use ser. It can be tricky, but with practice it becomes second nature. Keep practicing ser and estar for inherent characteristics and temporary states, respectively. Next up is the tricky pair of por and para. Quite a bit of confusion surrounds these two Spanish prepositions. Yes, they both translate to for in English, but they are not interchangeable. An example of a common mistake would be saying voy a la tienda por leche when you mean voy a la tienda para leche. I'm going to the store for milk. The first sentence implies you're going to the store because of milk, while the second one correctly states you're going for the purpose of getting milk. So how do we avoid this? Remember, por is used to express cause, duration, or exchange. For example, estudié por 2 horas. I studied for 2 hours. On the other hand, para is used to express purpose, destination, or deadlines like este regalo es para ti, this gift is for you. Remember, por is for cause or exchange, while para is for purpose or destination. Our fourth common mistake is the misuse of pronouns. Now, let's dive into this topic. Pronouns in Spanish can be a little tricky. Often, learners overuse personal pronouns, leading to redundancy. Let's take an example. You might be tempted to say, yo tengo 25 años, which directly translates to I have 25 years old. But in Spanish, since the verb form tengo already indicates the subject y, it's unnecessary to include the pronoun yo. So the correct form is simply tengo 25 años. The key here is to understand that Spanish is a pro-drop language, meaning it often drops pronouns because the verb endings carry enough information about the subject. So the solution to this common mistake? Try to keep your sentences simple and use pronouns only when necessary. This will make your Spanish sound more natural and fluent. Last but not least, we have the incorrect use of prepositions. In Spanish, as in English, prepositions are words that link and relate the elements of a sentence. However, their misuse can lead to misunderstandings. For instance, using en instead of a can change a sentence from I'm going to the cinema or voy a el cine to I'm in the cinema or estoy en el cine. The solution? Familiarize yourself with the various Spanish prepositions and their contexts. For example, en is often used to denote location or position. A is commonly used to express direction or target, and D is typically used to express possession or origin. Remember, context is key. And just like any other aspect of language learning, practice makes perfect. Start by using prepositions in simple sentences and gradually build up to more complex structures. With practice, using prepositions correctly will become second nature. So, those were some common Spanish grammar mistakes and their solutions. We've journeyed through the labyrinth of misplacing adjectives, misusing ser and estar, confusing por and para, misusing pronouns, and the incorrect use of prepositions. The solutions we've discussed are not magic wands, but guides to help you navigate this beautiful language more effectively. Remember, la casa roja, not la roja casa, ser for permanency, estar for temporary states, por for cause, and para for purpose, and keep those pronouns and prepositions in check. It's all about practice and patience. Making mistakes is a part of learning, so don't be disheartened when you stumble. Instead, use these mistakes as stepping stones towards your mastery of Spanish. Keep practicing, and soon these mistakes will be a thing of the past. Buena suerte.